What's going on, guys? Chandler here. So this is going to be my new segment on my YouTube channel called First Listen Review that is taken from my $5 tier full album reactions. So I react to the entire album, and then at the very end I give my overall thoughts and initial thoughts and a score on the album as a whole. So again, if you do like what you see and want to support the channel going forward, head over to patreon.com/ChandlerBurtonEntertainment. This is exclusive to the $5 tier. Again, you get a full album reaction, review, and a whole bunch of other perks as well if you guys are interested. And again, there's always a link down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the review, and thank you all so much for watching. Man, that was an absolute experience of an album, dude. It's so sad. You can never get that first experience back with certain, like, I can never listen to Machine Head's album of Kingdom and Crown again for the first time ever. But the first impression that it made on me here, absolutely terrific. I am so excited to do a first listen review. So stick around. That is coming up next. Let's talk about it. My friends, again, that was Machine Head and their new album of Kingdom and Crown. I'm honestly so upset at myself because I actually forgot this album was coming out, and then I found out it was coming out, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do it or not here. Like, I've always loved Machine Head, but I was like, I don't know if I should do it or not. I feel like an idiot for not jumping on this here because this legitimately is one of the best metal albums of the year. Absolutely fantastic. This is going to be a long video. It's already super long because the album's like an hour, but I got a lot to say. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. Pro number one is that I really love the melodic singing on this album. Like the singing while on like Slaughter to the Martyr and the last song, The Arrows in the Sky, I forgot the name of it offhand. Like that singing on that sounded so atmospheric and so melodic and really worked well with the song, adding to the song's already fantastic riffs and screams and all those types of things here. I thought the singing on that was fantastic. It looks like there was another guy doing a little bit of singing as well. I'm not sure if that was Rob doing the singing. You have to let me know in the comment section down below. But honestly, man, it was fantastic. Rob sounded good too. While some of the screams did sound a little bit, you know, kind of worn. And I mean, they've been doing this for so long now. Your voice, of course, is going to wear a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but there were definitely moments in the songs where like, oh man, it's just a, you know, it's just a matter of time. Screaming will, like, you know, affect you no matter what. I mean, I scream, and it's probably going to affect me when I'm older. But overall, the vocals were absolutely fantastic on this album here. Another thing I really liked about this album as well is that every song was different, and every song held my attention. What I really like about that is even though some of the songs were pretty long, like they still were like had cool moments in it where it held my attention all the way through. This album is over almost an hour, and I loved just about every second of it here. And I can't really, like, what's also cool as well is, yeah, I may have compared some riffs to, like, Volbeat or, like, of Mice and Men, but I can't really, like, compare it to anything else. Like, it's different enough where it feels like Machine Head. Like, I loved every song. Each song sounds different from one another, and again, that's really hard to do, but Machine Head's been doing this for so long. They really have mastered their craft and make sure each song has enough attention, that each riff is cool, each guitar solo is cool, vocals are really good, great lyrics. Like, every song on this album is different, and I love it. I think there's a lot of variety on here if you're a well-seasoned metalhead. And I gotta say, man, at least from first time listening, it feels like my third pro would be is that it seems like they're taking elements of, like, you know, newer metal and also just incorporating that older style of Machine Head that they're so well known for. Like, this album feels like a Machine Head album through and through, absolutely. But it does feel like they drew a lot of inspiration from, like, newer bands. Like, honestly, not to sound weird, but a lot of these riffs that I heard could honestly be on a current modern day metalcore album. Like, I was listening to it, like, for example, with the song Bloodshot, I compared it going like, this sounds like an of Mice and Men type riff that could be on, like, their new on their new album, or maybe something coming. It sounded a little bit like that, which I think is really cool. My girlfriend's dad was also telling me that Rob Flynn went to go see Orbit Culture play, and that Rob Flynn absolutely loved Orbit Culture, and Orbit Culture is a pretty new band, and so it's cool that they understand, like, they could still keep that Machine Head sound, but it sounds like they're incorporating, like, modern day, like, metal elements to their songs. And some of the breakdowns in this were just absolutely fantastic, like Choking on the Ash of Your Hate, or even the last song, Arrows in the Sky, whatever it was called, Arrows and the Word from the Sky. Those breakdowns sound like it could be on a modern day metalcore album, and I'm just like, it's just so cool how they incorporated, like, again, it still sounds like Machine Head, but they use elements of modern day metal, and I think honestly it's just the best of both worlds. So I jammed the filler songs again here on the album, which again was Overdose, Asylament, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, and Terminus. And I gotta be honest with you here, they are pretty cool, but to me the album was so strong that I really felt like those fillers weren't needed. While they do tie into each song that comes in after, for me the album was so strong that I really didn't feel like it needed those fillers. Maybe it's trying to tell a story that I'm not aware of. I haven't really done a deep dive into the lyrics here, so maybe I am missing something here, but again, just on my first initial listen, I thought the fillers on this song were definitely the weakest part, because again, there's 3 of them, and usually you only get like 1 or 2, and so for me, I could have honestly cut those out and just have all these massive songs just play all the way through. I think it would have made it maybe a little bit better, probably not. Again, it's not going to change my score of what I'm going to give it. I just noticed that I checked out all 3 of them again before I filmed like my first listen review, and I was like, honestly, I'll probably skip these in the future and just jam the next song that comes after them. So that's my only con with the album. Legitimately, the album is great. This was another album that was extremely hard to pick my top 3 favorite songs, because legitimately I liked every song on the album. I didn't really care for the fillers on this album, like those 3 songs we just talked about, but every song on this album, it was so hard to pick a top 3, but I think I got it. This is probably going to change in the future, but as of right now, I'm going to say Slaughter, The Martyr. Now again, 10.5 minutes is very long, and I generally do not like long songs, but I've talked about it so many times on the review here or in the reaction that, again, if it holds my attention, I'm cool with long songs. This song kicked off the album with that sick riff, just super sick. I love that song here. The next song I really liked here as well was Become the Firestorm. It just had so many cool moments that legitimately felt like a modern day, like, metalcore type song. Again, as I said in my pros, that I felt like they did a good job of incorporating that Machine Head sound with newer elements of what newer bands are doing, which I think is really cool. So that song reminded me of, like, you know, a modern day like metalcore band in a way, and I thought they did a really good job. Again, keeping it like Machine Head, but incorporating new stuff into their songs. I thought that was really cool. And then I gotta say, My Hands Are Empty. I think, is that the right one? Yeah, My Hands Are Empty. That one had me smiling all the way through. Had me laughing like hysterically, because I just absolutely loved everything about that song. It's heavy, it's melodic, it's everything that I love about music. Again, there's so many. All the songs on here are honestly worthy of a top 3. And again, I'm sure my opinion's going to change. I love this album, dude. This was just absolutely fantastic through and through. You could probably tell the way that I'm simping what I'm going to give this album here. I'm just so mad at myself that I was not going to do this. Like, again, I forgot that this album was coming out, because I saw the announcement, because I followed Machine Head on all their socials. So I saw the announcement, and then I was like, oh, it's actually releasing this weekend. And then I was like, I had another album plan that I was actually going to do today. Today is Saturday, August 27th. I was going to do a different album, but I actually moved it so I can do this one. I'm so glad I did this one first. This was legitimately one of the best metal albums I've heard all year. And it's awesome that Machine Head's been around for so long, and they're still making an impact in the metal community here. I love these guys. I love this album. I legitimately think this is one of the best Machine Head albums like they've ever done. I really do. Like, everything about it was perfect. I mean, besides the 3 filler songs, every song I loved. Like, there was no filler in them, and every song was different from one another. It was heavy, great singing, a little rough on the screaming, but the screaming was still consistent enough that I still enjoyed it. Didn't really bother me at all. This album is fantastic. This is what I love about music. This is what you call metal, and again, stuff like this makes me happy to be a part of the metal community. I'm giving Machine Head of Kingdom and Crown a 10 out of 10. Easily one of my favorite albums of the year so far. I keep saying in a lot of my reviews, but this will absolutely make it at least in the top 5. Unless, you know, some other albums come out here, but as of right now, just in my head, this album is going to make it at least in my top 5 albums of 2022. I'm so glad I didn't miss out. Terrific album through and through. Cannot wait to jam it more on my own free time.